This term I'm currently writing about the early African farmers in South Africa for History, Grade 5, Term 2. One always begins by going to the curriculum and finding out exactly what the requirements are for Grade 5s in this history section. It is a very vast section, and it wants you to talk about the homesteads, the villages, what crops they grew, what was the role of the men, the women, the boys and the girls, to talk about the chief, the cattle, the tools, the weapons, the iron age, the pottery, the celebrations. It's vast, and I didn't know where to start, so I thought I'd write a story. And when wanting to use AI to write the story, it's all about the prompt, and then you don't have any trouble. So I began with write a children's storybook about a family of 4 people who were part of the first farmers of Southern Africa. I gave them some websites to look at. I said that the story should be told through the eyes of the little boy. There's a father whose name is Thabo, a mother Naledi. I gave AI a prompt of 2.5 pages long, very specific instructions, even telling it what content I wanted in each chapter, because I also asked it to write 10 chapters with 600 words in each chapter. And I put it into ChatGPT, and a really nice story came out. My name is Kalebo, and I'm 13 summers old. My family and I are walking south. But it just wasn't rich enough, so I tried Scribbler. Scribbler was far more graphic, and it said, the morning sun cast long shadows across the thatched roof of the village, painting the dusty ground in stripes of light and shade. A quiet sense of anticipation hung in the air. But Scribbler gave me 84 pages. There was a lot of repetition. It repeated about the men's role in different chapters. It was way too far, and so I had to blend the two. I read the 87 pages, and everything I liked I highlighted, and I pulled it into the ChatGPT, and I smushed it to make my own. Now I had to put it into a book with my own pictures, and so I used AI like image art to introduce you to Kalebo, this good-looking lad on the left-hand side. And there's Kalebo and Dino, and so the book that I've created is full of pictures explaining the content of this term in a story. If you just read the story to the children this term, they would understand the content necessary for History Term 2. There are loads of pictures of the first kilns, of what bellows looks like, so that the teacher doesn't need to go and find them. She can simply show them the pictures from the book while she's reading it to them. When you want to teach about the woman and the role as agriculturist, artist and medicine woman, it's all in the form of a story. The women carry the baskets filled with sorghum and millet, ready to plant. My sister Dino walks beside me, humming as she digs small holes in the soil. And then it explains how the whole planting process happens. As always, the application is pupil-centered, creative and practical. We felt there needed to be a timeline so that you could understand exactly when this African migration went down. And so there's these little stickers that you stick all around this timeline, helping you get a perspective. Of course, we need to know that the migration came from sort of northeastish Africa and then moved east and came down the east coast, down the Indian Ocean towards the Limpopo River. And then using the text from the story, it asks you to draw the village, and then it gives you the sort of section which describes it in the story. Kraals were built against mountains or in valleys for protection from the wind. Their home was a circular hut constructed of poles, and then you need to draw that. Mind mapping is great, and so here they have to mind map the process from rocks to iron ore. We have given them the process in order from the story as it's explained, and then the children draw little pictures which help them to remember this process. There's always got to be loads of creativity, so we're going to scamper an old-fashioned hoe, and we've asked them to make it more technologically up-to-date, yet still effective as a modern-day farming implement. And the instructions for how to use Scamper are included in the resources, because Coach in the class always makes sure that you are totally supported. So when can you get this? Well, it'll only be available early next term. You're going to have to trust us because quality takes time and I'm still in the process of writing it. But very excited to introduce it to you because you're going to love it.